Hello, welcome to the video. This is an interview for Rocc Racing. We have here as interview on my right the CEO and main driver of Rocc Racing.
Hello.
And I'm going to be doing most of the interview questions today. I am second driver for Rocc Racing, sim driver. So yeah, welcome to the video. Leave a like. We'll get into the questions. So, personally, I know that you have had a massive love for the motorsport throughout your entire life, but where has that come from?
It's a great question. I don't honestly know. My parents weren't into motor racing. I don't ever remember it being on the telly. And yet one of my earliest memories is telling my nursery teacher I wanted to be a racing driver in the smaller cars, which I was meaning Formula One cars because they're low down. But yeah, no idea where that come from. But definitely enjoyed it. Definitely stayed with me throughout my life. Watched plenty of stuff over the years: touring cars, Formula One, rallying,
All the greats.
all the great stuff. That's it. Colin McRae,
Yeah.
Menu, Plato, Hoy, some guy called Senna, Patrese, Mansell, Prost.
I'm not jealous.
Well, you got Hamilton and George.
Oh, yeah. So, you love the sport and you enjoy the thrill, but why do you want to race? Why not just sit and watch?
That's another great question. So I think anyone who loves a sport wants to naturally give it a go. With football or golf or cricket, you can just turn up and try your sport out. Five-a-side runs every night in a city. With motor racing, it's a different ballpark. It's specialist equipment in a special place called a track. You need a special PPE. There's a lot of stuff before you even just go out there and do something. You can do a drive and go karting, which we've done, and we've enjoyed. Faster than you.
Couple attempts.
But with that, you never know who else is going to be on the track. And we've had novices on with us, and we've had to cut our way through the field.
Yeah.
And that interrupts our racing and how close we can be together. And I think that's where the real spirit of competition goes. When you're on a track against other competent drivers, and you're all of a similar pace, or maybe you're a bit quicker than the person in front of you, that's when the actual racing and the competition sets in. And the respect. I mean, you think about Senna and Prost going at it, you think about Schumacher and Hill, and they could go side by side round through corners and just have that respect for each other to actually go racing rather than just knocking people off. Yeah, Schumacher.
Not political.
No, not political. I mean, Senna did it as well, didn't he? So, you know, I guess underlining that is the personal commitment to getting the corner right every time, getting the exit right, working on the setups. So you're delivering your personal best and matching it against everybody else, which I think is what you see in like sprint racing and marathon racing. Those athletes are out there training every day, and it's only when we see them in the games that we actually see how they compare. And I think that's pretty much the same in any arena, especially motorsport.
Yeah. So you've been wanting to join as a driver in motorsport for many years now.
Yeah.
But what have you done up to present day to try and achieve that?
Yeah. So, like I said, my parents, they weren't into motor racing at all. So that whole early childhood phase of getting into go-karts and, the mum and dad buying a cart and taking me in, putting me through leagues, just never happened. When I was 20, I'd become a single dad, and I thought then was my best chance to try to dedicate a bit of time to get into it. I had a look at a Formula E called Formula 4, run by the 750 Motor Club at the time. And it's not the polished Formula it is now. The current Formula 4 supports Formula 3 and is a proper pathway into like Formula 1 and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas then it was just a very much of a club level Racing Championship. So we went down to a couple of meetings, spoke to different drivers, looked at buying a car, but at the end of the day, couldn't quite put the package together.
Yeah.
Similarly, at the same kind of time, I spoke to Alain Menu Motorsport, joined them up at Croft, looked to join their Formula Ford 1600, which is a single-seater series.
Yeah.
And they offered me a place in the following season for £16,000.
Right.
Could not raise that. And then just basically life kind of took over. I met your mum, got married.
Yeah.
Had your sister and you.
Hello.
And now it's just kind of come back round to it, I guess. And then I saw a competition to win a year's drive. And so I took part in a couple of rounds for that. So the first round was at Snetterton in a fully race prepared Citroen C1 endurance racing car. Must have been impressed with that because in March I was back in the C1 at Goodwood, and then COVID struck and everyone went into lockdown. So about 7 months later, October time, I was invited to the semi-final at Silverstone, where I was driving a Caterham. And then a couple of weeks after that, for the finals in Ariel Atom. I come fifth out of 40 drivers.
Yep.
There were 6 of us in the final. I beat 8 professional drivers to get into that final. And as a result of that, they actually offered me a drive for next season in the C1 if I can get the sponsorship again.
Right.
And I've also been approached by another team offering a slightly different package in a different league, but again endurance racing, which is both are interesting.
Yep.
And it's a nice thought to be sharing the car with other drivers and being part of a team, and all going towards a common goal of getting the car home and doing it competitively.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago, you got pretty close into getting as being an actual driver, but couldn't raise the funds. And now we're getting close to that situation again.
Yeah.
So what are you doing differently now, and what have you already done differently so that you can achieve it?
So obviously I'm working, Maz is working, and so we're able to put some money aside towards it. But it's still not going to be enough to cover a full season's racing. We've set up this channel, Rocc Racing. I've seen, you introduced me to a couple of drivers on here, Jimmy Broadbent, to mention one. I thought about it. It's maybe akin to musicians when they're starting off and they're busking in the street. So they're sort of like showing their talent, they're getting the experience, and they're getting a bit of support. And I thought setting up this YouTube channel, people might like to donate towards the actual real world racing.
Yeah.
So that's the present day. We've built this brand to be able to try and raise those funds. Mm-hmm. But what do you see in the near future in 2021?
Yeah. So on the back of doing the racedriver.me stuff, they invited me to compete with them in the 2021 season.
Yeah.
Again, there's a price tag attached to that. And I was also approached by a team from a different championship interested in me coming and driving for them as well next year. And again, there's a price tag related to that.
Yeah.
So it's nice that I've been invited to come along and drive from Alain Menu Motorsport and these two from this time. February and March time for my race license. I've got a full test to do. There's 2 written parts and a practical part. I'm hoping that'll be around Donington Park.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're buying all the PPE, so the fire retardant socks and underwear, the suit, the gloves, the helmet, the Hans device, and then that gives me the license and the PPE ready to actually go out onto track with a team and be competitive. On the sim side, I'm currently working on different setups for the tracks that we're going to be racing at.
Yep.
And to put that into context, I'm maybe doing 10 to 12 hours working on a setup for the car for each track.
Yep.
So it's taking a bit of time to do that, but hopefully we're going to start streaming some races that we're doing online soon in the new year.
So as we've previously said, together we've built this brand of Rocc Racing.
Yeah.
But why Rocc Racing? What does it actually mean?
Yeah, great. So there's a Formula One presenter called James Allen,
Right.
who also did some racing on the back of that. And over the years, Allen's such a popular surname. There's all sorts of Allens racing in cars, on horses, all over the globe. And so I wanted to find something that was unique and easy for people to find when they search for it on the internet. And I spent a couple of hours one night Googling my way through, and I found that Allen means rock. And if you type in Rocc Racing with a K, then you get Little Rock in Texas with some horse racing.
Right.
But then I found out that the old English spelling of the word rock was with 2 C's,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody has that. So that was the launch pin for Rocc Racing.
Yep.
Let me ask you, obviously you've watched your dad going through all of this process.
Yeah.
How do you feel about helping him out with the YouTube channel and with doing some of the endurance racing on the sim? What's your take on it?
Yeah, well, some of my earliest memories are of us two together racing on video games, on the PlayStation, the Xbox, teaching me how to race and competing together.
Mm-hmm.
And I just always enjoyed the thrill of, like you said earlier, the competition, and racing together and having that not just awareness of each other but also respect on the track, and knowing how to push each other the limits. And you starting this YouTube career and racing career has then allowed me to further enjoy doing that and doing it with you. And yeah, I enjoy it and it's fun. And hopefully as well, it allows me to join you into a motorsport career as well of my own.
Yeah.
You think, I mean, there's loads of drivers that their dad has gone in first. You think Carlos Sainz, Rosberg, loads of drivers. They've all been amazing. Fittipaldi, yeah, with the 3 or 4 different drivers,
4 generations.
4 generations, and just thinking about that is exciting. So it is an honour to be able to race and drive as Rocc Racing, but also with you. So yeah, that's all the questions we have today. If you've enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any more questions that you would like us to ask, just tell us down in the comment section and we'll probably answer them, whether it's me or my dad. With that being said, I've enjoyed this interview. It's been good. It's quite interesting. So